Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout. This week we've got the Pajero Mini in the shop. We've had a bit of a run in the bush, had a bit of fun with it so far, so now we're going to throw it up on the hoist, have a good check over of it, because I haven't really looked at this thing much yet, and also give it the basic service that we normally give everything. I do have a timing belt kit and a water pump on order, so we're not going to do those yet. But we will still do the coolant today because I don't know how old it is, and then when the timing belt kit and the water pump comes, we'll drain that, flush it again, and put all new stuff in again. We're also going to change the wheels and tyres today actually too, so that's going to be cool, because the Galant wheels that are on this, they're actually too high of an offset, so on full lock they scrub, and also on articulation in the back they scrub. So fitting the wheels and tyres that I have today, even though the tyres are wider, they're actually going to push, because it's going to be a lower offset wheel, they're going to push out a little bit further. I don't know if we're going to need flares for those yet, but we'll get the thing up, and the wheels and tyres will be the last thing today anyway. So we're going to do all the fluids, give it a check over. I've already got an oil filter coming, fuel filter coming, so hopefully we'll get all those bits today and we can get the job done. Clipper up. First time I've ever needed these stilts. May as well get full use out of the hoist. This diff looks very much like the Sigma diff, hey? I wouldn't be surprised if the actual diff center is the same or very similar. Kind of want to take it out and check, because if it is, then A, that means, well, it'd be cool if we can get a limo for this, but then it'd be cool to know for Sigma people if you could put a Pajero Mini LSD in a Sigma. Because then it might mean there's a cheaper option out there. Because I know some of these did come with like a clutch pack diff, but I haven't been able to find a second hander yet, and this one I'm pretty sure is just the open center. Always take the fill plug out first, friends. Oil looks in good condition. Pretty cool, eh? Like the original, or a owner, I don't know if it was the original owner's written notes on the parts when they were serviced. So the transmission was done 2014, that was serviced. 2015, this was serviced. Wow, that's horrible. Why do that? It's just gonna cover everything in oil. Maybe that one. Nope. Let's see how many it takes before I get it right. Ah, 2 is not a bad go. My goodness. Sounds like I actually got the tray. What do you mean, bro? This is the smallest oil filter I've ever seen. That's the new one. A little bit bigger. Oh, yeah. Couldn't actually get that filter. So I did some reverse searching on the internet, and it turns out that the only car you can buy, the only car that was sold in Australia that came with that filter was actually a Smart 42, and lots of people don't carry that filter, so just went with the Z436 because apparently it's basically the same filter but a little bit taller, which will mean more filtration. But that's not really big of an issue because we're still going to change this thing every 5,000 Ks and keep it nice and fresh. I hate these inner guard washer bottles because they generally, especially on the K cars, always have such a small neck between the inner guard and the bottle. Going less badly than I would have thought. start it now and give it a bit of a run, get it hot so I can do the spark plugs while it's hot. Clear prop. Prop. Yeah, it still runs. As can be the case with used cars, they've been around for a while. This thing's a 1995 model, so every now and then when you get a new car, check it over thoroughly. Well, every time you get a new car, check it over thoroughly, because you can find stuff like this. This CV is retained not only by a nut, but there's also a safety split pin that normally goes in these. This particular one didn't have a split pin in it. Although the nut was tight, especially being an off-road vehicle, there is a chance that it's going to go under some pretty severe conditions and that nut may back off. So yeah, things like this you should be checking all the time. Make sure you do fit a split pin if there is one missing. We've thrown a pretty heavy duty stainless one in this particular one because same thing, they withstand a lot. But yeah, you could use a normal one if that's all you had. But yeah, check all these sort of things. Same with ball joints, tie rod ends, drag links if it's a steering box style vehicle. Just check everything that should have a split pin does have a split pin, because yeah, if these things aren't in here and stuff backs out, it can go catastrophically wrong. If you're at highway speeds and that backed out, there's every chance that this front left wheel is going to lock up because the disc will no longer be retained correctly. The hub will come out on an angle and jam the disc into the caliper. And yeah, like I said, that could lock the brakes on at 80, 90, 100 kilometers an hour. And if you were to lock one wheel on at that speed, it's literally just going to spear you off into the bush until you hit something. So yeah, something to keep in mind, and yeah, check stuff over. And also, if you're putting cars together, just do it the right way. There's every chance that someone's had to put a drive shaft in this. 9 times out of 10, you can even reuse the old split pin if you're in a pinch. So yeah, be mindful if you're putting cars together to do it properly. Yeah, safety first. This is our new wheel and tyre combo. I kind of touched on in the start of the video. We were changing the setup. We've actually gone back to a 15-inch wheel. The Galant Legnum wheels over there are a 16, and that particular tyre that's on those rims you cannot actually buy in Australia. So we've gone to a 215 75 15. These particular ones are a Zestino Grac MT or mud terrain. Just went for this, budget friendly. We obviously also work with Zestino anyway, but yeah, a much more common size if we need to find one in a bit of a pinch. And yeah, the 15-inch wheels, I kind of wanted to go something a little bit lower offset, but still not too wide. These are actually, believe it or not, an OEM Chrysler wheel from the 70s. I had no idea what these were when I purchased them. Yet again, another random Yahoo find from shopping by diameter and PCD. These are a 15x6 plus 10, and they're on a Chrysler Cordoba as well as other things. Typically, these would have had pretty much a full face center cap over the jelly bean style slot holes. But we're going to run these with no center cap. Obviously, it's four-wheel drive, it doesn't need fancy center caps. They will at one point go and get refurbed. Probably do a diamond cut on them or something, keep it basic. They're pretty heavily corroded, but they were cheap. Like this whole set owes me like $300 or something. So like the freight to get them here from Japan was more than the actual cost of the wheels. So yeah, something pretty cool, a little bit different, and I think it actually suits the look of the four-wheel drive. The other thing with OEM wheels too is they're actually really strong, a lot stronger than a lot of aftermarket wheels. So going off-road, I think these things will stand up to most of the abuse we can throw at them. I don't foresee us breaking these because they are so heavy in the construction. They're not a particularly light wheel, that being said, but we're not building a race car, we're building an off-road car. So yeah, I think it's going to work out pretty well. I'm actually going to look for more of these as well. So I want to have another spare as the same wheel, so we can have the same wheel and tyre combo all the way around. potentially even a second spare. The other thing too, though, you've got to be mindful of with a small four-wheel drive like this is you don't want to add tons of extra weight to it. So potentially a second spare is going to add weight. Well, it's definitely going to add weight, but I want to be mindful of where to put the weight and what to add versus like needs versus wants. So yeah, we'll probably do like a winch setup, a tool setup. We're going to put a little compressor on board and some other bits and pieces. But yeah, I don't want to go all out and then all of a sudden we've got another 400 kilos of stuff in an under 1,000 kilo car. So yeah, got to be mindful of that sort of stuff, especially if we're going to go touring with it. We've got all four of the wheels on now, and one thing I do want to touch on is wheel nuts. The particular wheels that are on this, the Galant Wegnum wheels, do use an OEM shank nut. These Chrysler wheels actually is just a standard sort of style taper nut. These are a 60-degree taper. They fit the wheel perfectly. These are 12 by 1.5 studs, so they're pretty easy to come by. You could, in theory, use these original Mitsubishi wheels because they are actually a combination nut. The reason they put a taper on the front of these nuts is actually only for the steel spare wheel. While it's possible to use it, I wouldn't recommend it. The other thing that would happen also if you were to fit these to a tapered nut style car as opposed to a shank style car is you're going to get this sort of rattle through the nut all the time because the washer's never going to be captive, and while it will bottom out on the rim, the taper will bottom out, the washer's always going to be loose, so you're going to have this sort of rattling constantly. So it's possible, but I don't recommend it. And now I've dropped it. Use the right nuts with all the right wheels, guys. Like, it's another thing, like going back to that split pin, it is a safety issue. I have also seen people try and use tapered nuts with shank style wheels. That is highly dangerous because you've only got a really small contact area of the nut onto the face of the rim. The other side of that too is you're actually going to damage the bore in the rim, and it's quite hard to reverse without machining or at least die grinding. So yeah, do a bit of research before you go putting new wheels on your car because you can potentially lose wheels. Like, it's all safety stuff, guys. So just keep in mind, and if you're not sure, please ask a professional. There's tons of wheel suppliers out there, or even specialty wheel nut companies as well that can nine times out of 10 answer the question pretty quickly. So we're going to keep going, chuck this thing on the ground. Then we're going to pull the roof racks off because I don't like them. These are kind of cool because it locks onto the door jamb, but then we've got a spreader bar that holds this rear rack down to the roof because it's kind of not actually attached on this back section at all. I don't know if I'm going to keep these long term, like if they'll go back on the car or not. It'll depend on what we do with it a bit. I won't throw them out, but I don't know if they'll make a return to the Pajero or not yet. I like it more without the roof racks. I think the spare wheel cover is kind of out of place now. I think I'm going to take it off. It's also the sort of thing that you don't want to have to deal with when you're in the bush. Like if you get a flat tyre and then we've got to put the bigger wheel on the back carrier, it's not going to be a simple... I could very much see this getting broken or thrown in the back of it, or I think I'd rather just store it. More parts to store until the end of time. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for the Pajero today. I want to say a massive thanks to the guys at Zestino for supplying the tyres. Hope you guys have enjoyed the start of this project. There's going to be a ton more videos on this thing as we go forward. Going to be making an exhaust for it, probably a snorkel, make a front bar for it with a winch, possibly even make a rear winch setup. So yeah, there's going to be sort of all sorts of stuff going on with this. It's going to be on the channel for quite a while. It's not going to be in and out deal. So yeah, if you like it, there's going to be plenty more Pajero content coming. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.